at old Mosaic. Saskatchewan still looking for win number 1. Maybe tonight on the CFL on TSN. Expectations have been high following a dreadful 2015 season.
He's going for Bowman. Got it! Touchdown!
But 2 losses to start 2016 as Chris Jones' squad looking to begin righting the Riders' ship.
He's going to score! Touchdown! Chris Brady! Touchdown!
BC looks to bounce back after a disappointing performance at home against the Argos. It's a Western showdown from Saskatchewan. The Lions take on the Riders. Next. After missing much of the past 2 seasons, Darian Durant doesn't look rusty at all. He's completed 67% of his passes, 627 yards, 5 touchdowns. So far this season, the counterpart, Jonathan Jennings of the Lions, struggled last week against Toronto. He was benched for veteran Travis Lulay, but Wally Buono's made it clear after that Jennings is still his number 1 quarterback in BC. And hello there, and welcome to the week finale, if you will, week 4 of the Canadian Football League. I'm Rod Smith, getting set for the Lions and the Riders, along with the panel of Milt Stegall and Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz as well. Well, BC coming off their first loss of the season last week to Toronto after a 2-0 start, and the Riders are off to an 0-2 start, Schultzy. That's despite, cover your ears, Milt, they were so close. Game they could have won in Edmonton in overtime last week.
All things considered, Saskatchewan Roughriders are ahead of the schedule. When you consider 70% of this team are brand new players, they're giving off a good vibe in terms of their play and their aggressiveness. The second issue is that coach right there knows that his quarterback is healthy. That Achilles tendon injury is A-OK. Darian Durant, 246 passes without an interception. I think the Riders are ahead of schedule.
Yeah, 0-2 is not where Rider Nation or Chris Jones wants his football team to be, but absolutely love the culture and the mindset that he's bringing to the table, Schultze. I think as people are buying into that, and I think they're overlooking the 0-2 start, knowing that this football team is showing all that promise and above schedule like you're talking about, Schultze. I think that this football team's heading in the right direction. I know, Milt, you don't agree with that, but, you know, as far as them being okay with 0-2, and they're not. I'm not okay with it, but I love the mindset that he's instilling. It reminds me of Don Matthews, Adam Rita, Jackie Parker. These guys are willing to let their players go out there and make some plays by challenging them in those situations.
Well, there's an intriguing player for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, A.C. Leonard. And you think about it, last year, he was playing receiver for the BC Lions. In his debut for the Lions, he actually scored 2 touchdowns, but he didn't play well after that, and they released him. Now he's playing defensive line / linebacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he's a Chris Jones type of player. 6'2", 250, runs a 4.5. It'll be interesting to see how he plays today against the guys who used to throw him touchdown passes.
Yeah, he's an intriguing story alone. So is that coaching matchup, too. Wally Buono, all-time leader, and Chris Jones, the most talked-about coach. Heading into this season, to be sure, they're getting set to clash in the CFL on TSN. Tronics. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, that is thanks to Safeway Sobeys touchdown to win promotion. And if it should happen for a second time in this game, you can also win $1 million. Brian, good luck with that. Off to Mosaic. Chris Cuthbert, Glenn Suter.
Thanks, Rod. Great night for football at Mosaic. Week 4 wraps up on a Saturday evening in Regina. Western clash between the 2-1 Lions and the 0-2 Roughriders, and it's a milestone night for Wally Buono, Dean of CFL Coaches, on the sidelines for his 400th game, 256 wins, 42 against the Riders, including win number 1 in 1990. And Chris Jones still looking for his first Rider win, has only lost 2 straight twice in his career and has never lost 3 in a row, trying to avoid that here today.
Ricky Collins made enough plays in training camp for the Riders to earn a starting spot after 2 games. He keeps making plays and is the Riders' leading receiver. Recorded his first 100-yard game last week versus Edmonton. For the Lions, the leading receiver is not Nick Moore or Manny Arsenal. BC's top pass catcher is Canadian Sean Gore. Gore's off to the best start of his career.
Lions swept all 3 meetings last year. Riders dropped an overtime decision in Edmonton last week. BC beaten 25-14 by the Toronto Argonauts. Tyler Carpina's got it on the tee. Chris Rainey is deep, along with Shaq Murray-Lawrence for the Lions, and we're underway here at Mosaic. Not much breeze as Rainey fields the opening kickoff, and the dangerous Rainey gets out around the 40-yard line, and Jonathan Jennings leads the BC Lions out on offense for the first time.
Well, when you're a young quarterback in just your 9th start like John Jennings was last week, you come up against a bunch of first touchdown pass, first interception, and for Jennings last week, the first time you're pulled in the middle of the game. Game was finished by Travis Lulay. Some discussion of that all week in Vancouver. It's Jonathan Jennings with the start again.
How does he respond? How does he deal with a Chris Jones defense that will throw a lot of looks at him? And we get an early flag. And a time count right off the hop.
Chalk one up for the Mosaic Stadium crowd early in this one.
Roughriders won the toss, but elected to put the defense on, and I think Chris Jones probably had this in mind. So back at the 29, 1st and 15, looking for Sean Gore with the catch, but not going very far. Up against Buddy Jackson on the corner.
BC Lions Jeremiah Johnson was nicked and is missing his 2nd straight game, so it'll be former Rider Anthony Allen in the backfield, the receiving core again. Manny Arsenal's been targeted more than any receiver, but Sean Gore is the leader in catches and in yards. Up front, one more game, back-to-back games now for Kirby Fabian at right guard.
So just 3 for Gore, 2nd and 12. And a quarterback draw. Jonathan Jennings is tripped up, not going very far. Jonathan Newsom and the newcomer Cedric McKinley shut the door.
Well, Wally Guano said it coming into Mosaic Stadium and playing on the road here that they got to handle the crowd, and they haven't been in this first drive. Got behind the sticks with the procedure call, 2nd and 15, and that play call was just to limit the damage in this first series and kick it away.
So Richie Leone to kick. Nick Dembski at his 35. Lions within the 5-yard area. And after a 42-yard punt, there'll be a no yards penalty against BC. Looked like Brandon Stewart was in the vicinity.
And Darian Durant, the only quarterback starter that has not thrown an interception yet this season. 5 touchdowns, 0.
BC, number 9, 15 yards applied from where it was caught. First down.
0 picks and over 600 yards passing in the first 2 for Saskatchewan, so he is back from that Achilles injury.
4 touchdown passes last week, 4 different receivers, and a pair of 300-yard games for Durant. And a great field position start for Saskatchewan at their 50. And the handoff inside, and a big hit there. McKill Brooks on Curtis Steele.
Curtis Steele starting tailback for the Riders, right beside Darian Durant. There's his leading receiver. We put him in as the 5th receiver in the group. There's the starting 4, Naaman Roosevelt on the outside. John Childs got 2 touchdown catches. He leads in that category. And up front, 1 change. Andrew Jones moves to center for an injured Dan Clark.
Darian Durant 9-9 in his career against BC. 2nd and 8. TJ Lee on the blitz. Durant has time and then pulls it down. Now throws and incomplete. And Lee got there late but did disrupt things, and Naaman Roosevelt was the intended target.
Yeah, the initial blitz from TJ Lee is picked up nicely in the backfield for Saskatchewan, and Darian Durant has time initially, but he does not have an open receiver. There's TJ Lee coming. He's picked up on the blitz. Now he keeps at it, runs all the way around the horn and comes back and catches Durant from behind.
So both teams start 2 and out. Bartell to punt it away. Outside the numbers, Rainey, his momentum takes him out of bounds. No return after a 41-yard punt. Anthony Allen wore green and white last year. Last week he ran for 107 against the Argos. Anxious to play against his old team here tonight. Vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Second possession, BC Lions. Starting on their own 17-yard line. Anthony Allen with Rolly Lambala in to help protect. Pressure on. And downfield, it's in and out of the hands of Manny Arsenault. McGuavin with the blitz, putting pressure on Jonathan Jennings.
Well, you can see what Chris Jones has got up front. He's going to send some pressure at the young Jonathan Jennings, see if he can handle it. Now he takes the hit to get this ball out of there to Manny Arsenault. It's good enough to catch. Manny Arsenault comes out with that one more times than not. Should have had that one.
14 catches, 25 targets for Arsenault coming in. The connection not as reliable it was last year when Jennings took over. 2nd and 10. Has time. Down, great catch. Brian Burnham, who gets away up to the 45 for the Lions' initial first down of the game.
Yeah, it looks like corner Justin Cox is getting up limping after the guy that was contesting for that football with Brian Burnham. Looked like this ball had a little too much air on it, and there was going to be a shot there for Justin Cox, who has the only interception for the Saskatchewan Roughriders after 2 games, but Burnham won the battle.
Just 4 catches in the last 2 weeks for 38 yards. Burnham with a 28-yard grab there. And Jonathan Jennings keeps it. A little malfunction at the junction in front of him, and he gets dropped by the middle linebacker, Greg Jones.
Justin Capicotti and Jonathan Newsom up front still looking for their first sack. A.C. Leonard has the only 2 for the Riders as a team. He got him in game 1. Greg Jones leads the team in tackles. Got another one on the list right there. That's number 13 on the season so far. And there's your secondary, as I mentioned. Justin Cox with the only interception in that group after 2 games.
8th in points against, but number 3 in yards surrendered in the opening couple of weeks for that Rider defense. Gets BC in 2nd and long once again. Jennings stands in, and the pass for Arsenault incomplete into double coverage.
Lots of discussion in Vancouver as to whether or not it should be Travis Lulay, who came off the bench last week in the loss against the Toronto Argonauts and put up pretty good numbers in his 3 possessions. Created quite the debate in talk radio throughout the week, but it's Jonathan Jennings, and Wally Buono was quick to name him.
Great boot by Leone, and Dembski allows it to bounce into the end zone, and he's going to concede the single point. First point of the game comes on a long rouge from Richie Leone. Ricky Collins emerged as a huge force in the Rough Rider offense last week. What a performance he put on. Back on offense, the Riders, when we come back. Introduced to each other.
If Darian Durant is Superman, then Brian Phillips is his kryptonite, because in the 47 career picks, 16 of them against Saskatchewan, 9 against Darian Durant.
$16 interceptions for Phillips in 33 games against the Rough Riders. Here's Durant with pressure on from Brooks, who will pull him down. Mikhail Brooks is back after missing last week with an injury, and he's made a couple of defensive plays already.
Yeah, he may have got his hand in the corner of the face mask of Darian Durant on this sack. Like that right hand got caught in the face mask. Didn't look like it was intentional by any means, but that is a matchup we'll watch
Major
all
foul.
evening.
Face mask. BC, number 90. 15 yards from the original line of scrimmage, automatic first down.
Mikhail Brooks at 6'3", just shy of 300, up against Andrew Jones at center. You saw the right hand in the face mask of Brooks there as Durant tried to escape.
So it's a first down for the Rough Riders up at the 50. Grant looks wide side, and that one intercepted. There is a flag. Alex Bazzi, the defensive end, back to help out, but this could be pass interference against BC.
Well, clearly the signal for pass interference from Shamad Chambers to the bench to challenge. If he didn't see the flag, but he was looking at Chris Jones, and he had some sort of signal. He believes the hit on him came a little bit early.
And it is going against the Lions.
Pass interference, BC, number 9. It's a 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Field corner, Brandon Stewart.
Well, you got the quick in route here, and Brandon Stewart's going to come up and make the hit on Shamad Chambers. And does he get there before the ball does? Yep. Alex Bazzi dropping from the defensive end spot.
Gives the Roughriders a first down in Lion territory, and Eddie Steele will push ahead for 5.
Speaking of Alex Bazzi, he is out of the gates. 3 sacks for the BC Lions at defensive end. Had that interception just taken off the board. You know that Adam Bighill and Solomon Elamimian will have a big bounce back game. Not their best effort last week against Toronto. Bighill leads the team in tackles, and there's your secondary. We mentioned Ryan Phillips. 9 interceptions in his career against Darian Durant.
Through the first 3 weeks, the number 1 pass defense in the league. Number 1 in yards allowed. Second down, and there's Roosevelt with the catch over the middle of the first down. Roughriders. Solomon Elamimian with the tackle.
Lions went with another halfback blitz, some exotic blitzes again coming, and they're going to drop their linebackers. The blitz is off the edge from TJ Lee. The 2 linebackers, Solomon Elamimian and Bighill, split it. And you see Roosevelt just sit between the 2 of them.
11 to Naaman Roosevelt. Leading receiver in the early going for Saskatchewan. Back in the hands of Curtis Steele, and he runs right into Purifoy. Bazzi there to finish him off.
Ryan Phillips is climbing up the list and up the ladder when it comes to career interceptions. 47 has won this season. That was in game 1. There's the 16 against the Riders, 9 against Darian Durant, and even in the playoffs, Ryan Phillips finds a way to make a play against the Saskatchewan Roughriders when they face each other in the postseason.
4 interceptions away for the BC Lion team record held by Larry Crawford. 3-man rush, second and long, and Durant flushed. Dumps it off underneath, and it's incomplete. Couldn't hook up with Steele, and it will be third down.
Darian Durant was talking to Shamad Chambers there and wanted him to turn and go deep. He was looking for his receivers on that short side to break their routes off. And if you're a short receiver or a short route runner in the play, you break it deep. If you're a deep route runner in the play, you come back. You become a short route. And he's talking to Shamad Chambers on the bench.
See the numbers for Krapina, 5 for 5 inside the 40. This will be from 41 yards out. Shaq Murray-Lawrence back in case he misses. And Krapina puts it up and through. And the Riders will take the lead. Short of the 9-minute mark, 3-1 Saskatchewan.
Work with your pads and with your heart, not with your mouth, okay? Mouth never intimidated anybody, never scared nobody. Let's get out there, be physical. Let's put an end to a good week, right? You've had a good week. How do you finish a good week? Win. Let's go win, guys.
When you've coached 400 games, you just go straight to the point.
Cut to the chase.
Absolutely.
Didn't like the practice week in advance of the Argo game and made a priority of his team looking sharper this week in preparation for it's a pretty big game early in the season. Trying to put some space between themselves and one of their Western rivals. Here's Rainey. And Rainey through the wave. Past Krapina and across midfield. Chris Reedy has done it again. He's been field position for the BC Lions early this year.
I'll take a look all time when you talk about some of the best and biggest names in the coaching field in pro football.
That's a who's
Hallis,
who.
yeah, George Hallis at number 1, Don Shula 2. There's Bud Grant, who coached in both leagues, the NFL and the Canadian Football League. Of course, Wally Buono at 400 here tonight.
46-yard kick return for Reedy gives the Lions a first down out of a double tight end, a fake inside, and there's Rolly Lumbala, the fullback, plowing his way for a first down. First catch of the year for the 9-year veteran. And Rolly.
Too many men. Saskatchewan. Penalties decline. Result of the play. It's a first down.
Ed Gainey heads straight to the sideline. Rolly Lumbala lined up at tight end in this play. And is wide open in the flat. Riders had 13 out there.
12 for Lumbala, who doesn't usually do much talking on the field. Had something to say to that secondary. Pressure on, ball tipped, and falls to the carpet, incomplete. But they send pressure, and it looked like Shane Herbert got his hand on the football on the safety blitz.
Pressure right down the middle. Looked like middle linebacker Greg Jones just lined up in the gap and is not blocked right here, just behind that goalpost. And not much chance there for Jonathan Jennings to get the ball out.
Lions with a couple of first downs in this opening quarter. Look at 2nd and 10 once again. 3-man rush, crosser underneath, and it's Arsenault with his head down to the 32-yard line, and that should be enough for another BC first down.
Well, that's a great example of a veteran receiver making a good decision after he catches the ball on this crossing route. He's going to catch it underneath, well short of the first down, but how many times have you seen a receiver continue to go laterally towards the line of scrimmage? Manny Arsenault turns it up and gets what he needs, 11 yards.
Saw Jonathan Newsom, the defensive end, drop that time. Here comes more heat, but they get it away. It's Sean Gore with a flag down. Buddy Jackson will wrestle him down, and maybe a late hit on the quarterback.
Jonathan Jennings looks sharp. He's seeing the field. He's getting the ball out of there. His drop back is crisp and clean, and he took a hit there. And that's exactly...
Major foul, roughing the passer. Saskatchewan, number 11. Half the distance to goal, automatic first down.
Ed Gainey, halfback blitz with the hit on Jennings.
Right down in the corner in the bottom of the line here. Ed Gainey, the halfback's coming free off the edge, and he knows he's unblocked. Jonathan Jennings knows that. The flag for the late hit.
Coach told us prior to the game that wanted to see BC be better in the red zone. 5 for 9 so far this season. First and goal. Handoff inside. Anthony Allen not going anywhere, but he throws it back, and it's a touchdown. Jonathan Jennings. How about that?
Okay, so you're the bottle cap. I'm going to go up here in the sand and turn around, and if I get stuck, I'll just turn around and pitch it right back to you. Anthony Allen up the middle is stopped immediately. Great play defensively by 3 Rider defenders, but he pitches it back to Jennings, who walks in.
And the Lions offense stays out. They are 2 for 4 in 2-point converts this year. They were unable to convert after their opening touchdown last week against Toronto. What a heads-up play by Allen, and now looking for 2 more. Short drop, Jennings throws, it's incomplete.
And he threw that away, well covered by the Saskatchewan secondary on that convert.
Well, a little schoolyard play to get the BC Lions into the end zone. What a heads-up. Allen, and Jonathan Jennings skips in for the major. Drive.
Take a look at the touchdown again. Anthony Allen is stopped in his tracks by Otha Foster off the edge. Allen's going to then turn around after trying to get loose there from that hit from Foster. Before he goes down, he gives it back to his teammate Jennings. And now, of course, the entire Saskatchewan defense have committed to Anthony Allen. Here's the two-point convert, and let me show you how many defenders were around the target here. Go ahead and run it, guys, because as Jennings went to throw on this under, stop it right here. There's 1, 2, 3 defenders right there, and Jennings decided, no, not going to take a chance here, just threw that one away, and it went off the hand of A.C. Leonard.
Over BC Lion, Leonard making the defensive play. Leone kicks it off. And it will be Kendall Lawrence from the 5. And Lawrence just out beyond the 23-yard line as we check in on the sidelines with Lee Jones.
Guys, Ricky Collins Jr. kind of made a name for himself last game, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. And that was big for him considering he almost walked away from the game in 2012. Playing for Midwestern State University in Texas, his father suffered a stroke, so he decided to leave the team to be by his side until he was healthy. Luckily, he was able to get back on the field with another university. He keeps in close contact not just with his father, but his son, Deshaun, who thanked him for that touchdown celebration last week. The air guitar he did in the end zone is the same move his son, Deshaun, does at home. And Collins Jr. did say the guitar is ready for today.
Targeted 8 times last week, 6 catches, 115 to Roosevelt. In behind coverage there to give the Roughriders instant field position near midfield.
Ricky Collins Jr. made a couple of catches just like that one that Naaman Roosevelt just made against the Edmonton Eskimos. Again, some pressure from the BC Lions going after Durant a little bit, and Naaman Roosevelt gets in behind TJ Lee.
29 yards for Roosevelt, his second catch of the game. And the Roughriders up at their own 53. This offense 4th in points, yards, and passing yards after 2 games. Oh, bad snap. Fielded by Durant. Gets it in the hands of Steele, and they get across midfield. David Menard the tackle. Andrew Jones the center for this Rough Rider offense.
Darian Durant knew what he had, and Naaman Roosevelt for sure, receiver that was a go-to guy last year, and he's picked up where he left off with 14-163. But now the emergence of Ricky Collins Jr., another playmaker in their group. You sprinkle in a little Rob Bagg and Shamad Chambers. John Childs as a guy who has done the job down in the goal line area. 2 touchdowns for him, and all of a sudden this receiving core looks a lot better.
5 on the first down play, and now Durant looks for more. Rob Bagg stretching out, can't bring it in. Disrupted there as Purifoy came across to help out. Mike Edom, the safety, also there in coverage.
Yeah, I think there was the flow of Mike Edom here, Chris, from the safety spot. Looked like Purifoy was in trail position down here at the bottom, but watch number 11. The safety for the BC Lions come all the way across from the middle of the field and disrupt the catch. Rob Bagg makes that one. It was a tough one. You can make that catch if right there Edom doesn't disrupt it. Rip it out.
Edom formerly with Montreal and Hamilton in his first year at the safety spot in BC.
I've been expected to. Quite frankly, I don't.
Chris Rainey. And again, nothing there. He'll step out after a 41-yard punt by Josh Bartell. Under 2 minutes to go here in this opening quarter.
My 2 cents, I think it was a good decision to go back to Jonathan Jennings. He was the plan and the starter going into training camp, and he was the starter coming out. So 2 bad quarters doesn't change that plan. You see the possessions. He had 12 at 229 yards, and when Lule came in with his just 3 possessions and put up 156, that started the discussion. Lule is back and healthy. That's the good news. They've got 2 they can win with. I think it was a good decision by Wally Buono to go back to Jonathan Jennings.
Deepest field position start for BC at their 12. Wide out. And a catch is made on that far side by Gorm. We talked to Wally Buono about the decision to sit Jennings down last week.
You know, Jonathan was a pro about it. I expected him to be a pro about it. If he takes it the right way, it makes him better. If he doesn't take it the right way, it's only going to hurt him.
Jennings said, I'm a young guy. There's going to be some growing pains. Big start for him against a tough defense led by Chris Jones, and a 2nd and 2 play here. And Burnham gets outside. He'll get the first down and get bumped out by Newsom just beyond the 30-yard line. So 11 for Burnham, his 2nd catch of the night.
Yeah, I mean, when that is the plan, and Jonathan Jennings has been the plan for Wally Buono, you stick with it just because of a couple of bad quarters. Travis Lule even said, hey, Doug Flutie had been pulled before when he was a young quarterback in both leagues. So every quarterback understands that. Flutie has been nothing but helpful to Jonathan Jennings to prepare him for this start after being pulled last week.
First down at the 31, short drop, and it's delivered high, pulled down by Marco Iannuzzi, who had 3 catches for 57 against the Argos last week and has 9 on first down. Lions getting better first down production.
Well, and it just, Jonathan Jennings looks sharp. I mean, you can tell with how quickly and efficiently he pushes back from his shotgun when he gets the snap. He's got his eyes upfield. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly because he has to. Riders defensively right now are sending a lot of pressure at him, see if he can handle it.
5th different receiver he's deployed here in the first quarter. Final play barring a penalty. Lumbala in motion. And Jennings looking to the near sidelines for Lumbala. And he was well covered by Otha Foster III. So that's the final play of the opening quarter. Roughriders looking for their first win for Chris Jones. Put pressure on Jennings early, but Jennings runs for a touchdown, and the Lions have the lead. Against the Argos, over 100 in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's a pace for 400, and right now Saskatchewan sending a lot of pressure at him, a lot of different exotic blitzes. He's handling that so far. His completion percentage is over 60% in that first quarter. So with that kind of pressure, that's a good completion percentage.
And knowing the veterans on the sideline waiting in the wings, he shows some moxie there in the opening quarter.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was all kinds of discussion. A lot of people thought it was time to go back to Travis Lule and see if the former MOP could get out here and start and get a win against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. But as I mentioned, I think it's a good decision by Wally Buono. Let him watch from the sideline last week in the loss and then give him a shot to redeem himself here tonight.
3rd and 1, and this has been interesting so far this year. Flags down as Jennings surges for what looked like enough, and did the Roughriders give the full yard off the football?
Offside, Saskatchewan, defensive line. 5-yard penalty, first down, BC.
4 for 5 in 3rd and 1 gambles so far this year. The Roughriders 2 for 6.
Like Jonathan Newsom had his top part of his helmet and shoulder pads in the neutral zone, so he lined up offside.
Lions going a little against their tendency here, Suits. The first 3 games, they were rushing the football 39% of the time, but with that quarterback sneak, just the 4th run of this game. Here comes heat, and almost picked off. Former BC Lion. No, check that. That's Cedric McKinley. I was going to say, if AC Leonard, the former tight end, got his hands on it, he might have scored.
Yeah, he has a couple of catches when he was a Lion against Saskatchewan from last year, but that was McKinley who moves inside. On that particular play, they went with 3 down linemen and moved McKinley to the end spot out here, and he just stands up and knocks down this little crossing attempt from Jonathan Jennings, who's trying to get the ball to Chris Rainey.
Strong side linebacker, Otha Foster sent on the blitz that time, and now 2nd and 10, and this play doesn't get off. Early movement. He's just checking about 1/3 of the penalties here in week 4.
Procedure, BC, number 62. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
the center Cody Husband. 1/3 of the penalties so far this season, around that, they're either offside or illegal procedure.
Yeah.
Here's one way to cut down penalties.
Well, and your offensive coordinator gets frustrated on ones like that, especially even on first down. You get behind the sticks and you're in trouble offensively. Hard to convert now on 2nd and 15. In hostile territory.
Here they come again. Pressure, and Jennings trying to run out of trouble here. Aguavin in pursuit, and Jonathan Jennings throws it incomplete. Out of bounds at the Lion bench.
It was Samuel Aguavin that causes the problems for Jennings. He lines up as a defensive end almost, but it's full blitz pressure. Justin Capicotti is one of them. He's going to come through that gap. There's Aguavin, and that left tackle, Javon Olafiore, has to try and decide. He gets caught in the bump and a rub there, and away they go, and they're chasing down Jennings from behind.
Leone boots it away, and this will be Dembski from his 17-yard line. 53-yard punt, and Dembski bumped out of bounds by Lumbala at the end of the play. Riders offense, Rob Bagg, the veteran, John Childs, one of the newcomers, with Darian Durant at the controls when we come back. Discusses how to escape a fast defender. Well, Milt just ran by them, didn't he?
I didn't know there was faster defenders than Milt.
Well, he's talking about the rest of the guys, the ordinary guys.
Yeah.
Darian Durant came into the game 11 completions shy of passing Kent Austin for number 2 on the all-time Rough Rider list. There's another completion, another catch for Roosevelt, and a 5-yard pickup across the 35.
Rider fans coming into the season wondering about the recovery of Darian Durant, that Achilles injury in 2 games, over 300 yards. And last week versus Edmonton, he added 4 touchdowns, brought the Riders back down 30-19 at one point. Took that game to overtime against the defending champions. Couple of touchdowns, 3rd down gamble, touchdown to Childs. They fell short to get the win, but Darian Durant is back.
And a 10-yard pickup for Roosevelt and the Rough Riders at a 1st down. Here's Durant looking inside. Chambers the catch. Early contact there from Ronnie Yell on the corner that draws the flag, but the catch made nonetheless. Chambers thought he had the dagger of a touchdown last week against his old team, scoring a go-ahead touchdown with 19 seconds to play.
Pass interference. BC, number 25. It's a 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
This one was a close one to me when I saw it live. Let's take a look at Ronnie Yell in coverage. He's going to jump inside position here. Look how he jumps inside and reads the route nicely. May have been a fraction of a second early.
Though it's a 1st down up at the 47. 4-man rush. Durant throws underneath. Bagg turns the corner and has a 1st down at the BC 51. 12 for Rob Bagg, the established veteran in that receiving corps in his 9th year.
Shallow crosser, and Durant just lays it out there for him to pick it up in stride. The accuracy of that throw allowed Rob Bagg to turn the corner and pick up some extra yards after the catch.
Now 4 receivers go wide side. They look that way and swing it into the hands of Roosevelt, who got tripped up, falls forward to the Lion 45-yard line.
TJ Lee, 3rd in the league, or on his team, I should say, and 1st in the secondary in tackles, makes a big one here, or that might have been a big play by Naaman Roosevelt. Ball out there quickly to Roosevelt. And if he makes Lee miss there's a lot of running room in front of him.
Made a lot of plays, TJ Lee. Defensive plays beyond tackles. He's been credited with 19, so he's in the top 10 among CFL defenders. Second down, Durant throws behind the intended target, Chambers, but a flag down as Brooks got to Durant, who's a little slow to get up.
Well, the flag goes down there, right there. Durant slow to get up.
And this will be the second time Brooks has been flagged.
Major foul, roughing the passer. BC, number 90. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Drive extender.
Three-man front for the BC Lions. That's number 90 right in the middle. It's a matchup we're watching. You can't go down low. Even if you trip or fall or get pushed, doesn't matter.
Looks like he tried to avoid it, but the contact made, penalty called. And the Lions already at 75 yards in penalties, above their season average. Durant for big! He got it! Touchdown! "31-yard touchdown catch and a spectacular TD grab from Rob Bagg.
An early smile from his head coach, Chris Jones. He liked this one, too. What a great catch by Rob Bagg. It looked like Mike Edom, the safety, was going to roll back into that one and knock that out of there, but Bagg in a small window brings it down for 6.
Second touchdown of the year and in as many weeks for the veteran Rob Bagg. And the Roughriders take the lead.
Grant still feeling the effects of that low hit from Mikhail Brooks. But delivered a strike there.
Rapina trying to add the convert. Early movement along the line. And Rob Bagg trying to help the officials make the call. 6 plays, 83 yards. The touchdown, and the Brooks penalty costly because it kept the offense on the field.
Well, Rob Bagg, what a play by the veteran. 9th season in the CFL. And on the music note, he's kind of like the G chord when you're playing the guitar. It's not exotic, but if you don't have it, I'll tell you what, there's about 1,000 songs you just cannot play. You got to have Rob Bagg and guys like him.
So he's the bass player in the band, huh?
He's the bass player in the band.
Procedure, Saskatchewan, number 58. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll retry the convert.
So they were trying to figure out who flinched first, and they decide it's Xavier Fulton, the left tackle. So this will make it a 37-yard convert attempt for Krapina. 4 for 5 so far this season on converts. Out of the hole, the Bagg and through. And it's a 3-point Saskatchewan lead. 31 yards. Durant looks into the end zone and finds his most veteran receiver. Second touchdown in a couple of weeks for Rob Bagg on a terrific catch, but at the end of that series for the Roughriders, some attention being given to the left ankle, foot of the quarterback, Darian Durant, so not a good sign, and Mitch Gale starts to warm up. Rapina kicks it off. Shaq Murray Lawrence with the return for BC. And he turns on the Jets and bulldogs his way across the 40-yard line.
2 deep zone for the BC Lions on the touchdown, and Rob Bagg's kind of going to split them. There's the one defender deep in the second, and Rob Bagg now is just going to take this right down the seam. Now, the reason that Edom can't get there quickly is because he's got a backside deep threat. Rob Bagg's here, one deep threat, but Edom's got his own deep threat to worry about. He can't leave that too soon, and Bagg gets the leverage he needs inside.
What's up, Henry?
already 4 lead changes in a seesaw first half. 20 minutes in. Jennings back to work, quick hitter. And a completion to Sean Gore, off to the best start he's had in his 7-year CFL career.
Well, the last time he had a big season, just shy of 1,000 yards, was in 2011. Over 800 yards for Sean Gore that year, and I don't have to remind Lions fans what happened that year. Travis Houle led them to a championship.
Jennings dumps it off. Arsenault with the crosser and lost his helmet and the football. Trying to fight for extra yards. The Roughriders think they've got it. Somehow stayed upright to get a few extra yards, but it cost him possession of the football, and they'll take a look to see if he was down.
Well, you got to love the extra effort from Manny Arsenault. There's tremendous balance as he gets the hand down. Now, was he down before the ball came out? Did the backside hit the ground before the ball came out? You saw the helmet fly off. Was he down? Not there. Still has possession.
And the hit from Greg Jones dislodged the football. And Mitch Gill has come on for the Roughriders as we await confirmation of the turnover. Chad Ritchie, the athletic therapist, working on the starting quarterback.
Well, they've reviewed this at mission control and determined that the ball did come out of Manny Arsenault before he touched down.
So Mitch Gill gets action, the former Argo, and right away, pressure, and Purifoy gets home. Lucius Purifoy has his second sack of the season.
Penalty flag, Chris, way back in the secondary for the BC Lions.
Edom was matched up against Rob Bagg.
Not a surprise at all that with
illegal contact on the receiver, BC, number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down Saskatchewan.
And it is a flag against Edom. Well, the Lions had averaged 63 penalty yards per game through the first 3. They're well beyond that already.
Yeah, Edom's right here. You can't make contact or redirect the receiver past 5 yards, and Edom is well past 5 yards when he gets his hands on Bagg.
Third first down by penalty for the Roughriders out of 9 first downs here in the first half. Gill drops back. He's going to air it out. Edom playing center field, unable to bring it down. The pass intended for Ricky Collins.
Your Lions fans want to take one more look at that fumble by Manny Arsenault, and we'll show you again. Here it is. He's not down by contact there because the hand doesn't count. That's the hand again. Now, it's the first thing that touches is his backside, but it looked like the ball was already out. So the call was confirmed on the turnover, and it was the right call. You have to love the effort from Manny Arsenault. Just took a big hit from Greg Jones. Meanwhile, Darian Durant still trying to get that left shoe back on.
Put some ice on it quick, but trying to get him back on his feet and back in it. Believe that is the leg that was injured last year with the Achilles problem. And now Shamad Chambers getting attention.
Well, and the Riders and Chris Jones have gone through a few backup quarterbacks just this year, trying to find the right combination behind them. It's Mitchell Gale now, but B.J. Coleman is on the 6-game injured list.
Brett Smith was let go after training camp.
Yep.
Gale was with the Argos, finished last year with Hamilton. Looking at 2nd and 10. Stands in. Penalty upcoming. bags out another catch, and Gale shows you pretty good arm strength and accuracy there, but it's coming back on a hold.
Absolutely. That's a confidence builder, whether it stands or not, because Gale...
Saskatchewan, number 68. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Thaddeus Dolman, the right tackle flag. Gale told us in preseason suits that he talked to 5 or 6 teams before training camps.
Inside spin move on Craig Rowe. But Gale can gain some confidence from that throw. That was a long throw to make, and he was right on the money with it.
Been around the league for 4 years. Throws the screen. It's Matt Walter, the former Stampeder, hurdling back to the original line of scrimmage around the 40.
That'd be about a 47-yard attempt here.
And another injured Saskatchewan Roughrider. Looks like a Lion's been shaken up too, but is this Brendan Labatt, the all CFL left guard?
He went down, and the pile just created on top of him and got his helmet knocked off as well. That's the second helmet we've seen come off.
Jabbar Westerman also on the limp, and he'll get attention, but there's Brendan Labatt headed to the sidelines.
Well, Labatt's right here. He's trying to help out Walter, and then you can see he gets kicked. The helmet comes flying off.
And that does not look good as Durant slowly limps to the rider room. And you hope he's not taking the Saskatchewan season with him. One of the teams that you looked on the depth charts and said would be most vulnerable to a starting quarterback going down.
Well, because of just the revolving door at the backup spot already this year, that's why people were saying that. I mean, it's not the situation even BC has with Travis Lule and Jonathan Jennings.
47-yard attempt for Carpina. Trying to double the Rough Rider lead, and he nails it. Mac Product on the money. And it's now a 6-point Saskatchewan lead. To Durant, drew the flag and sent Durant first to the sidelines and then to the dressing room. With an update, let's join Lee Jones.
Now, as soon as Darian Durant came to the sideline, they put ice immediately near his left ankle, the back of his left ankle, and the top of the foot. He sat there for a couple minutes, then put his sock back on, was putting his shoe back on, looked like he was going to try to give it a go. And after walking back and forth on the sidelines, grimaced a little bit, kind of shook his head. Then he went with a couple of doctors underneath Mosaic Stadium. We're probably not going to get an update on his status until halftime.
Jennings to work, and he hooks up with Arsenault, right back to the man who turned it over, and Arsenault gets the Lions into Saskatchewan territory.
Well, and Arsenault just, he came out of his stance here and was on the go, full speed, wanting to make amends for that fumble, and Jonathan Jennings, smart to go right back to the veteran, a 28-yard gain for Arsenault.
Went over 5,000 career yards last week. Third catch of the evening for Arsenault. And back into the Rough Riders side of the field. More pressure on Jennings. The ball popped loose. And who's got it? Wild scramble for it. Rough Riders believe they've got it. And have the Lions turn it over on consecutive series? Let's find out.
And did the ball come out before Jonathan Jennings had that forward throwing motion?
Jeff Knox Jr. comes up with the football.
Open Foster creates the fumble from the backside on the blitz. And does the ball come out before the forward motion of the arm by Jonathan Jennings? It's Opa Foster who's provided some pressure a couple of times now for Saskatchewan from the linebacking core. Jennings going to throw. His arm gets hit. Does it come out before the forward progress? They're reviewing that right now.
The previous play is under review by the command center as a change of possession.
So again, a change of possession review. But it looked like on first and maybe second look that it was indeed a fumble.
Yeah, it did look like Foster got the arm, and the ball popped out of his hands just before he moved the hand forward.
There's Shane Herbert again on a safety blitz, along with Foster causing the issue.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
So it's another takeaway for the Roughriders, who go on offense without Darian Durant and also without Brendan Labatt. And Josiah St. John, the #1 pick in the CFL draft, comes in at left guard. Gill, the quarterback, gets it out of his hands quickly to Childs. And down to the 35-yard line, he has 7.
Well, the #1 pick overall, Josiah St. John, was in the contract dispute, missed training camp, finally got signed and put on the roster. First game on the roster, and I don't think the plan for Chris Jones was to get him any playing action here tonight, but because of the injury to Brendan Labatt, he's forced to play.
2nd and 3. Hand off to Walter. And Walter plows for first down yardage. Seen Walter now for a couple of series, and I wonder if Curtis Steele's been nicked as well.
Well, 3 of their starting stars on offense not available due to injury for Chris Jones. Brendan Labatt, perennial all-star. Darian Durant, their franchise player. And remember, Shamad Chambers was the Grey Cup outstanding Canadian last year. He's out of the lineup as well.
Nevertheless, they have the lead and threaten to add to it as Gill throws. Incomplete. Roosevelt had a shot at it. Tight coverage from TJ Lee.
I think TJ Lee just got a hand on that ball to knock it out. And Mitchell Gale would like Chris Jones to challenge for roughing the passer.
Somebody get a hand off the helmet. Sidelines taking a look at the scoreboard here, and there is Brooks. That'd be 3 for
and
Brooks.
Now they are going to challenge.
The challenge is made. This is the 3rd consecutive week we've had this kind of challenge in a game involving Saskatchewan. One went their way in the Argo game when the Argos' Cam Walker was called for it after a challenge, and last week it went against them in a similar challenge.
Well, I don't think there's any question.
Saskatchewan is challenging the ruling on the field that there was a hit to the head on the quarterback. We'll review the play.
Mikhail Brooks now rolled on Darian Durant, got a call on that one. He's going against Josiah St. John. And hand to the head of Mitchell Gale, pushes the chin, twists him down. There is no question. That is roughing the passer. And a good decision by Chris Jones to challenge it. Mitchell Gale got up trying to get the attention of his head coach.
Review, we have roughing the passer. BC, number 90. Half the distance to goal, automatic first down.
Chris Jones wasn't sure when Mitchell Gale was talking to him, but he looked at the big screen and he went, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, in the face. There you go. No question there. I'm challenging that one.
Lions came in #2 in fewest penalties, averaging 8 penalties for 63 yards. They're at 100 yards in penalties. We're not through the first half. Gill back to throw. Underneath for Bagg, and Adam Bighill with the tackle at the 10. Bagg has 5.
Wally Buono talked about, after the loss of the Toronto Argonauts, talked about those penalties that got their offense in trouble when they got a holding call and put them in 1st and 20 instead of 1st and 10, made it impossible to convert, and they got in trouble against a Toronto Argonaut team that was very patient.
He was pretty candid when I spoke to him about penalties today. #1 responsible the players, #2 the coach, so he's not blaming the referees for the rush of flags. Slant to the end zone, touchdown, Nick Dembski. #9 has It's a 9-yard touchdown reception as the Roughriders stretch their lead.
Pretty tight coverage. But Mitchell Gale, who in practice, you've got to think, would have some chemistry with backup receiver Nick Dembski. They would play together when they're doing the show team of the opponent in practice against the #1 defense. Although sometimes Chris Jones quite often will go ones against ones.
10 points off turnovers. The last couple of fumbles have been costly for BC. Rapina the extra point, and it's a 13-point Saskatchewan lead. Five plays, 42 yards, and a touchdown after the fumble by Jennings.
Nick Dembski runs a nice slant route here to keep that inside position. Most important thing for the receiver on this route is to make sure that DB can't cut in front of him and get leverage inside. Dembski uses his body to block him out. Mitchell Gale puts it right on that 9. Brandon Stewart couldn't get around the big body of Nick Dembski. 4-time CIS All-Canadian.
And his first CFL touchdown catch.
Those are my boys right there.
Roughriders find the end zone, and they may have found a backup quarterback. Mitch Gale's looked good. Rapina boots it away, and Chris Rainey wants it. And Rainey ducks under and gets some extra yardage up around the 35, but Jonathan Jennings and the Lions have shot themselves in the foot and now trail by 13.
Final instructions there from Kahari Jones. Lots of time in the half to try and grab some momentum back for the BC Lions. They need a drive.
Lions last in offense in the second quarter this year, just 6 points, and they've been blistered by the couple of turnovers here in the second quarter that's provided 10 points for the Roughriders. Jennings to work, and the pass is hauled down. Nice catch by Sean Gore. Buddy Jackson in coverage, and that's a Lion first down.
Isolation route for Sean Gore on the backside of the play. Short side of the field, one-on-one on Buddy Jackson.
3-minute warning given here at Mosaic as the Lions try to play catch-up against the Roughriders.
Set for halftime. A good half for the Riders with one big exception, the injury to Darian Durant. We're going to talk a lot about that. And the pressure Saskatchewan's been getting on Jonathan Jennings as well. That and the playbook as well as we go back to Chris and Glenn.
Different storyline, Rod, here today. Just 3 teams, home teams, have won so far this season. Home team with a 13-point lead. Lions trying to close the gap here. There's Arsenault with the catch, and he gets to the first down stick and gets out of bounds.
This is the best half of football, I think, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have played on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, in the first couple of games for the Riders, not typical Chris Jones type of defense, but they are creating turnovers, causing all kinds of problems coming into the game after 2, especially those big plays, interceptions, quarterback sacks. Not typical of Chris Jones type of defense.
Lions now swing it to the near side. Here's the home run hitter, Chris Rainey, getting loose, and now out of bounds down around the 37-yard line. It's another BC first down. The first down's now even at 11 apiece as the Lions move into Rough Rider territory.
Yeah, Chris Rainey is going to get used more and more offensively as the season goes on. It's almost a pitch count when it comes to a returner, because you want that explosiveness on the return game, but you also want to sprinkle them into the offense. Can't overwork them, though.
BC with the first down, 4 receivers out, and Burnham nearly got away. Jackson got enough of the jersey to help impede his progress, but close to another Lion first down.
Boy, Chris Jones is just loading the line of scrimmage. I mean, he is saying to Jonathan Jennings, if you're going to beat this defense in this game tonight, you're going to have to beat the rush. 8 guys, get it out of there quickly, and they'll get home.
2nd and 1, and Anthony Allen crashes through, got to the next level, and has a first down and a lot more.
Good strategy when you're playing against a quarterback in his 10th start at the pro level. And again, this is a short yardage play, but loading the line of scrimmage. Now, if there's a screen draw possibility in behind that, that may be a play call option for the BC Lions. Against a lot of pressure, screen draw.
Allen coming off his 5th career 100-yard game last week in the loss against Toronto. Into the red zone. First down and back into the hands of Allen. Down around the 11-yard line, give him 6.
You can see what BC and Kahari Jones in the strategic end of the game are trying to do. Tight end set. They're trying to go tight end sets. What that does is it spreads the D-line a little bit more if they're going to load up the line of scrimmage, which they didn't on that particular play, but if they're going to, then you widen the ends with a double tight end set. It does take 2 receivers, though, out of your passing game.
BC with a touchdown the first time they got into the red zone. Now 6 for 10 on the season. Looking at 2nd and 4. 2 backs. In to protect Jennings, and it's off the upright.
Nick Moore can't believe it.
Nick Moore loose in the end zone, and Jennings hits the upright, and that will cue Leone to come on for the field goal.
Sometimes players in warm-up will play against each other on trying to hit the crossbar. I'm not sure if Jennings does that, but he hits right on the crossbar, and you can see number 17 at the bottom of your screen. Nick Moore was in behind cover.
So a short shot for Leone. Be a 19-yard attempt. Wally Bellotto going to call timeout. They're going to think about 3rd and 4 or 5-yard line. 5 on a gamble? Or do they just not have the right set out there? 3, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, they're missing a guy. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
So Craig Rowe comes on. They burn a timeout.
And that may be discussed, as well as turnovers and penalties at halftime by the head coach that is coaching his 400th game here tonight in Mosaic.
Time count violation. BC number 3. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So we're not sure if that's even after the timeout was taken or whether or not the timeout officially was not. It shouldn't affect the kick because they were in so close, and now they'll just move back, and it'll be a 29-yard attempt. And we're told the Lions were not charged the timeout. Well, to rush this, though, they do get it away, and Leone does make the kick.
Go back to that throw where Jonathan Jennings hit the crossbar, and I'll show you how wide open Nick Moore was. This would have been an easy one for the Lion receivers. He gets in behind on this post pattern. Safety Kevin Francis way shallow and underneath, and Moore in the back of the end zone hopping up and down going, oh, I can't believe it. And Jennings, oh right, it's Canadian Football League. The goalposts are just past the goal line, not at the back of the end zone.
You're right, the quarterbacks don't usually leave the field on a practice day until they've had the competition, see who hits the crossbar first. So it's a 10-point Rough Rider lead. Gale will lead the offense out, and scrimmage at the 35, and now the Lions will try and put heat on Gale, and Roosevelt gets away and gets up across the 50-yard line, and Roughriders trying to regain those 3 points and maybe more before the half is done.
And Mitchell Gales looked pretty good. You've got to think he's had limited reps. I mean, has not been here in Saskatchewan for very long. 5 of 6.
And 50 yards out of the gate for Gale, throwing again, complete. And it's John Childs running away and down inside the 15-yard line.
John Childs can pick him up and put him down. Maybe the fastest receiver, or one of the fastest in the league. And it was after the catch that he shows you the afterburners. Big route, catches it with his hands, and then runs away from the angle of Mike Edom.
46 for Childs. And now the Roughriders threatening, but Gale in trouble, and he is dropped. And Alex Bazzi has his 4th sack in as many games.
Rider fans have to be encouraged with the play of Gale, including that last one. Because Bazzi gets his 4th, but a young quarterback in limited reps and practice would probably try and force that throw there and may get in trouble. Bazzi's going to get to him, but sometimes you got to eat it. Take your lumps, get up and play second down.
Bazzi takes the sack lead with that. 2nd and 14. Gale over the middle, and it's caught. Terrific catch by Collins, tossed down by Purifoy. It'll be short of the first down by a couple.
Interesting here for Chris Jones. Very aggressive last week against the Edmonton Eskimos at the end of regulation and in overtime when he went for it on 3rd and inches. Didn't get it and lost the game. Does he go for the field goal here or get aggressive again?
He thought about it for quite some time, and now the field goal unit does come on. 3rd and at least a couple.
Wanted a penalty there on Purifoy for unnecessary roughness. No flag on that.
So they'll let the clock run down as...
I think you take the points here.
Yep.
This is a sound decision by the head coach.
And they'll take the time count back up, but just 8 seconds remaining. Since Mitch Gale's come in, a field goal, a touchdown, and now this field goal attempt.
Well, Mitch Gale's worked with Scott Milenovich, the Toronto Argonauts, a quarterback guru. And Scott has liked Mitchell Gale for some time.
Time count violation.
Said he called 5 or 6 teams during the
10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Off season, and everybody said we like you, but we've got some young guys we want to see first. And the Argos ended up making the call back to get him into training camp and the preseason, and then dealt him to Saskatchewan.
I think it's safe to say you'll see some exotic blitzes from BC in the second half. See if they can rattle Mitchell Gale.
T10, ready.
So Krapina adds another. It's a 13-point lead in the dying seconds of the first half. Just a reminder, Rod and the guys at the half talk about what they've seen here in week 4. And also at halftime here, they'll honor the 1966 Grey Cup champions, first ever Saskatchewan Roughrider Grey Cup champs on the 50th anniversary season.
Some big names in attendance for the halftime ceremonies here to honor that 66 championship team.
I think Wally Buono's got other things on his mind at halftime. Couple of costly turnovers and a lot more costly penalties.
Yeah, penalties. I think that's what he'll talk about, the cleaning it up. 10 penalties in the first half for the BC Lions.
Thought the turnovers bit them last week in the loss against Toronto and have put them in the trail position here through 30 minutes. 23-10 Saskatchewan at the half. As we head back to the studio, here's Rod Smith.
Thank you, Chris. Well, I'll just say it off the top. Good for Mitchell Gale. 7 for 8, 108 yards and a touchdown pass. So he's filling in very nicely for Darian Durant. But that is a big concerning story for the Riders, isn't it? Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. How important is Darian Durant? Consider 2 years ago, they were 8-2 when he got knocked out with a collarbone injury for the rest of the season. They went 2-6 after that. Last year, of course, in the opener, went down with the ruptured Achilles tendon, and the Riders went on to win only 3 games, Matty. It's a devastating sight to see him injured and out of the game again.
Yeah, for a team that's 0-2, struggling to get in the win column, and thank God for 4 years of Mitchell Gale. You know, to me, this is just part of the game, and this is why I was scratching my head that they didn't go out and get a veteran guy and try to find a guy, because this is similar to what happened last year. Although last year was a non-contact injury, this guy's been spectacular in the 2 losses, if you can say that. You know, he hasn't done the job as far as finding ways to win, but he is a leader of that football team moving forward. It's devastating, but good on them for making the trade a couple weeks ago and getting Mitchell Gale in the contest in the uniform, because he is saving grace right now for this football team.
Well, I think the worst is over. I mean, if I'm a player and I have to go in off the bench like this, and Mitchell Gale is 7 for 8, and he does that well, I think going into the halftime, he's like, everything's cool, calm down. Steve McAdoo's going to meet with him. They'll probably go over what they want to do in the second half in terms of the pass plays that Mitchell Gale likes. And have communication between the coordinator and the quarterback here. Okay, what do you see out there? How do you feel about this? We'll talk about this. The worst is over to me. Now, I'm asking you this, Milt. You got the receiver. You have the second-team quarterback in. How many reps you have with that particular quarterback?
Well, it doesn't matter who's back there as a receiver. You just have to go out there and do your job. You can't worry about who's quarterback, and if it's Darian Durant, if it's you, whoever it is, you just have to go out there and do your job. But you got to feel bad for Darian Durant. Let's hope this is not a serious injury, because this guy fought so hard to get back from that injury last year. Let's hope he's doing well. But Mitchell Gale, hey, he's getting there doing a good job. You talk to Zach Collars, and he thinks Mitchell Gale is a stud. He can play. They're not going to miss a beat. Of course, he's not Darian Durant, but the way he's looked so far, hey, hopefully they can keep it going. They may need some other units to step up. Defense has been playing well. Special teams have been playing well. And, of course, they're dealing with a playbook that's not Darian Durant's playbook, but so far, so good for Mitchell Gale.
When you're back up, and I know I've seen Mitchell Gale in a Toronto Argonaut uniform practices several times, and what they do in Toronto I think is carried over and serving him well now is mental reps and going through progressions. And if you watch those practices in Toronto, what Scott Milanovich and Marcus Brady do with those quarterbacks, that is carrying over for Mitchell Gale right now, because he doesn't get any reps during practice. Those mental reps are paying big dividends for him right now.
And a correction on the Durant injury 2 years ago in the Banjo Bowl, it was his elbow, not his collarbone. Bottom line, though, it was devastating for Saskatchewan. Here's hoping, as said, it won't be. We're going to come back and talk about the pressure the Riders have been putting on Jonathan Jennings.
Great night for football at Mosaic. Week 4 wraps up on a Saturday evening. First and goal. Handoff inside, Anthony Allen not going anywhere, but he throws it back, and it's a touchdown! Jonathan Jennings, how about that? Durant for big, he got it, touchdown!
We are Professional Grade with Milt Stegall.
Jason Armstead was one of the fastest players I played with and against. He had a tattoo on his calves that read, "Speed Kills." That speed allowed him to run away from many of players. Now, not tooting my own horn, but I too was able to run away from many of players with just my average speed.
Can he be caught from behind? It looks like Stegall is going all the way.
Why? Because I got my serpentine on, my zigzag. I would turn a 30-yard touchdown into a 50-yard touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown into a 75-yard touchdown. When someone fast is running, they hate to have to make a sudden move and change direction. That forces them to gather themselves and try to get back up to speed. Fast people are in their comfort zone when they can run in a straight line. So if you're challenged in the speed department like myself, get your serpentine on, and you too can make some big plays.
Tim Horton's CFL must-see moments.
We got football here tonight. Tristan Jackson, second game with the Red Blacks, is back. Jackson's going to scoop it up and kick it outside. Oh, Tristan Jackson takes one hit, and he's still on his feet. Tristan Jackson, he's taken off. Hyrolat, who's not going to catch him. What a run by Tristan Jackson. Oh, my.
Riley going to tear it out. Bowman from the coverage. How good is that? Darius Bowman.
Darius Bowman. It doesn't get any better.
Now Brandon Banks finding the seam and a cutback. Look out here. Here he comes. There he goes. Brandon Banks is going to take this one to the house again. 0 to 100 real quick.
No, baby, no! No! Not in here! Not in here! Bring it! Bring it!
We are at the half in Saskatchewan with the Roughriders leading the BC Lions 23-10. Before the game, we were wondering how much pressure Chris Jones would put on Jonathan Jennings to test that confidence. We got our answer. A lot.
Yeah, and he talked about during the week, Chris Jones said he was going to be more aggressive on defense. He was going to put pressure on Jonathan Jennings, and that's exactly what he's doing. If you remember when Chris Jones first came in the CFL, he coached under Don Matthews, and this was all Don Matthews would do. He would line up all his defensive guys on the line of scrimmage and basically say, I'm coming. And every now and then, of course, you would get that big play, but for the most part, it's creating turnovers. It's creating havoc. It's putting pressure on the offense. It's putting them in second and long. It's difficult to beat. So Jonathan Jennings, he has to come out and try to beat this. Kahari Jones has to find a way. If not, Jonathan Jennings is going to get hit all this second half, Matt.
I think they've kind of found a kink in the armor, so to speak, and it happened in the first quarter, Milt. And a lot of fumbles, penalties, pressures, and certainly goalposts have gotten away. But they're bringing 8 here, coming off the edge, and that's what they do. Exotic blitzes bring more than you have to block. But here on the back end, if you take a look at Nick Moore, he is wide open in this area. That is the hole. That is the middle of the football field where it's vacated. And if you watch Gainey, he's confused. And he is now talking to his teammates saying, hey, we got to get this straight. Well, Jonathan Jennings hit a goalpost, and he also hit, I believe, a touchdown over the top in that hole. So to me, it's one of those situations where I think they figured it out, and it's certainly attacking that middle of the defense.
I want to talk about Mikhail Brooks as a defensive tackle because he's a great player, but he's let his team down with penalties. He has to discipline his body parts just a little bit better so he doesn't get these penalties. First one, right hand here, that's obvious, it's face mask. Those type of things happen. Then the hit on Darian Durant, the torso. I don't think that was done on purpose at all, but still, somehow you got to discipline your parts. And then right here, the arms up, he's trying to bat the ball down. Great call by Chris Jones in terms of challenging that play and getting the penalty. Watch out, Josiah St. John is brand new to this team and also to the league. Mikhail Brooks and the young player are going to go head-to-head. Another part of the drama in the second half.
And Brooks has been very hard on Saskatchewan quarterbacks that first half. One in particular, of course, Darian Durant. The stall is empty now, out of this game with that ankle injury. Mitchell Gale's offense to run and a 13-point lead over the Lions. We'll be back. Saskatchewan at the half. Here's Milt with the stats.
Thanks, Rod. Great first half passing for these BC Lions, 188 yards.
They have the lead. 13 points up. Second half kickoff coming up here on the CFL on TSN. Stick around.
The turnovers and the penalties in that first half?
They're disappointing. We slowed ourselves down and didn't give ourselves a chance. So we got to make sure we eliminate those if we want to, advance the ball downfield and make some plays. We got to get rid of those.
How happy have been the way you've been able to read this very tough to read defense with the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
It's been decent. They're throwing a lot at us, but guys are trying to make plays. So we just got to continue to go out there and continue to see what they're doing.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Both Lion wins this year have been comeback wins, and they've got to come back here at Mosaic today.
Interesting conversation going on right now with defensive coordinator Mark Washington. And it looks to me, if I can read lips a little bit, that Wally Buono wants pressure on Mitchell Gale. Saying don't let him get comfortable like he did when he replaced Darian Durant. We'll see if they go with a pressure package and blitz package here, or sit back and make Gale try and complete underneath passes and move the chains 10 times in a drive.
Middle linebacker was involved in that conversation as well. Solomon Elimimian. They'll be on defense first as we start the second half with Kendall Lawrence on the return. And he gets wrapped up and tossed down quickly by Cameron Utko, newcomer in the Lions lineup. But how about Mitchell Gale off the bench and making an early impression for the Roughriders?
Absolutely. I mean, exceeding expectations, not because, you know, he doesn't come in with a good reputation as a backup and a guy that Scott Milanovich liked. I mean, Gale exceeded those, and he had a long throw on a long out that was taken off the board due to a holding pass, or his number or call, or his numbers would have been even better.
7 of 8, 108 and a touchdown. So let's see how the Lions handle it differently. Again, Matt Walter at the running back, and with the injury to Shamad Chambers and Brendan Labatt, it causes a ratio change, and Chris Jones handling that by going with the Canadian Walter at running back instead of Curtis Steele. The only other option would be, as we look at the depth chart, maybe to go with an extra defensive lineman in Essa Maburi and Justin Capicotti, but for the time being, it's Walter as the running back, and second down, Gale to the wide side, and it's incomplete, intended for Roosevelt, so a 2-and-out to start the second half for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and I just watched the BC defense and that conversation with Mark Washington. That time they sent Solomon Elimimian, but it wasn't really an outnumbered blitz on second down from the Lions. It was basically 5-man pressure, which should be able to be blocked up. We'll see as this game progresses just how aggressive Mark Washington gets with Mitchell Gale.
So Bartel to punt, and Rainey stands around the 47, and there's another mistake. Wow. Keenan Parker jumps the gun. And fortunately for the Lions, it won't be a first down for Saskatchewan, but the trend continues.
And is it close enough? I mean, he's in his own end, probably not.
Offside, BC, number 20. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Saying to Chris Jones, it's still 2 yards, a yard and a half for sure. So he'll keep the punt team out there.
Pressure on, but Bartel with a good boot, and Rainey forced back inside his 25. That's a 59-yard boot with the breeze. And Rainey brings it back across the 35-yard line.
Thought Jonathan Jennings had a real sharp first quarter. He looked good. There was a lot of pressure on him. The Saskatchewan Roughriders sent a lot of blitz. Jennings made some nice throws, got a good catch there from Brian Burnham. Actually had the Lions ahead early in the first quarter after their first major. Which was right there, a great play by Anthony Allen to get it back to Jennings. Second quarter, a bit of a different story. They stalled, the offense stalled a little bit in that second.
Touchdown run and 188 yards in the first half for Jennings. And here we go, back to more pressure, and that's batted down by Ed Keedy in the hip pocket of Emmanuel Arsenault.
Nice play by Gainey. The one thing he knows here with the pressure that the Riders are loading the line of scrimmage with, Jennings going to have to throw this on time on the out so he can aggressively break that. There's not enough time for Manny Arsenault to run a double move there on Gainey, and he knows it. He's a veteran. He can jump those. This is his 5th year in the league.
So second and 10. Jennings with some heat on, dumped it off, and it should have been intercepted. Aguavin had the football in his hands and lets the Lions off the hook.
I think it surprised him. It didn't look like Anthony Allen, who was the check down man here for the Lions, saw the ball in time. And Samuel Aguavin was surprised it hit him right between the 4 and the 7.
Defensive tackle Corby Irvin putting pressure on Jennings. And it was almost another turnover. Short boot. And it's Dembski after a 40-yard kick. Slight breeze here in favor of the Roughriders in the third quarter, and a flag on the return. We'll sort it out when we come back. Just short of 3 minutes into the third quarter at Mosaic. Stamps and Blue Bombers, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And Friday night football gets underway. Red Blacks head-to-head with the Roughriders, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, across the TSN network. Curtis Steele goes back in, and to get him back in the lineup, it's Dembski and Rob Bagg at the receiver positions. And with injury updates, let's join Lee.
Guys, as you've probably guessed, Darian Durant is out for the second half. They're saying it's a left foot, left ankle. They're still evaluating the severity of the injury, but he's definitely not coming back as well. Brendan Labatt is out with an upper body injury. You see Shamon Chambers is out. He was holding his hamstring. And Justin Cox, cornerback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, also out of the lineup, forcing Tavon Campbell, a national, to play some defense, guys.
So that starts to pile up, and here comes the pressure. Elimimian was in the meeting, and he got the message.
Well, I guess he may have gone over to Mark Washington, the defensive coordinator, and said, you know what, coach, just send me on this young quarterback a few times on some blitzes. And he does more than that. He sends both Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill on the blitz. And yeah, this is what we thought. Watching that conversation on the sideline, there'd be more pressure from the linebacking core and secondary.
First sack of the year for Elimimian, and the second consecutive 2-and-out to start this second half. Bartell with the boot. Rainey had to field that on the fly, a 50-yarder, and now Rainey on the comeback. Gets to midfield and just beyond. So Elimimian with a big defensive play, trying to shift the momentum here early in the second half at Mosaic. On the corner now with the injury to Justin Cox. One trend the Lions would like to continue. They've been a higher scoring team in the second half on the season. 16 first half points, 46 in the second half, and they'll start just beyond midfield. And pre-snap movement. This play doesn't get off.
I'm sure Kahari Jones is looking at how the Riders have had to juggle with Justin Cox out and Tavon Campbell in there, and is probably looking at a way to get
procedure. BC, number 57. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That puts you behind the sticks on first down, 1st and 15. But see what kind of matchup he may be able to get out there, whether it be Nick Moore, maybe Manny Arsenault, or even their leader, Sean Gore, and put him out on Tavon Campbell and test his skills and whether or not he's going to step up and play aggressively out there and back off.
It's like Greg Newman's in now at safety in place of Kevin Francis. 1st and 15, and Jennings airing it out. Wants Arsenault jump, and Gainey knocks it down. Great coverage again from Ed Gainey.
It surprises me that, I know sometimes you just go ahead and run your offense, but Ed Gainey is a veteran. And they do try and go deep, the BC Lions, and they do go to Manny Arsenault deep, but they go against the veteran right down here. Rather than put Manuel Arsenault over on that other side with Tavon Campbell playing on the corner and see how Campbell reacts having to come in as a substitution.
Jennings has completed just one of his last 5 and looks at 2nd and 15. Allen stays in the block, they dump it off, and here comes Arsenault trying to get outside and pushed out at the Rider bench, well short of the first down. Gets 9 to the 49, and it's 3rd down BC.
Nice job by Campbell on the coverage here. This time they have Marco Iannuzzi out there, but he tries to go inside the little double move here, even though it's an intermediate route, and no time for Jennings to get it over there.
So neither team has produced a first down in the second half. And Leone sailing that, and it bounces near the goal line and in, so Kendall Lawrence let it go, wants to concede the single point, a 58-yard Rouge.
It's a mistake by Leone.
So a 12-point lead. Leone unable to pin Mitch Gale and the Roughriders. Gale in Saskatchewan now with a lead by 12 when we return to Mosaic. Pro Football Agent in a new season of Ballers, and Danny McBride, formerly Kenny Powers, stars in the new Vice Principals. It all starts tomorrow at 10, only on HBO Canada. Watermelons of different varieties.
The watermelon hat goes on the kids even before they're born here in Saskatchewan.
Rider fans from Conception here at Mosaic, and a knockdown by Lacombo. Let's go down to the sidelines again. Here's Lee.
A tough start for Gale in the second half, but he's getting a lot of support even from former teammates on Twitter. Zach Caleros actually tweeted, "Gale Force, I told a lot of people that Sask picked up a stud." So he's getting a lot of support from guys that play with him.
Old teammates. I remember Zach mentioning to me as well that
absolutely,
thinks this guy can play, and he showed it so far. Under duress here, and he'll get pulled down beyond the line of scrimmage, short of the first down. Lacombo and Elimimian make the plays, and number 8, back-to-back defensive plays for BC on that series. A third consecutive 2 and out here in the second half for the Roughriders.
Yeah, just think about that mistake, though, Chris, by Richie Leone to not angle that out inside the 20-yard line. And now the Riders get out of some field position issues. That was another 2 and out, 3 in a row for Saskatchewan, and the momentum starting to switch, field position switching. Now you can get Josh Bartelli, if you're the Riders, to kick him out of trouble again.
Again, a slight breeze at his back. This one not as deep. Rainey, 25-yard line. To the outside, and then gets knocked out by Spencer Moore at the 34-yard line. Well, again, a milestone day. Wally Buono coaching for the 400th game in the Canadian Football League.
You know, when you reflect back on the CFL and you know what it's meant to me and what it's meant to my family, you start realizing how good this league has been to not only me, but people like me who have made a living out of it, who have made a life out of it, and it's been a great way to work.
First game was a tie when Doug Flutie, ironically, threw a Hail Mary against him. Anthony Allen straight ahead up to the 40-yard line, and then the first win against Saskatchewan.
At home in BC.
July 19th, 1990. A week later, he came back here to Mosaic and won again, and he's won a lot since.
4-time Coach of the Year, 10 wins or more, 18 times, 17 West Division titles. I mean, wow is the only word.
And that's the expression after the first half.
Yeah. And in most halves, if I can remember correctly, throughout the years.
2nd and 5, and that ball gets to Nick Moore, who's got the catch, gets tossed back, but Moore's first catch is going to move the chains. They spot it beyond the 45-yard line.
Wally, in his 400th game, I'm sure is starting to ponder, and it's not necessarily Jonathan Jennings' fault, but penalties on defense, couple of turnovers, they're behind. Do they start thinking about number 14? If they can't convert here at some point and get some points on the board.
I think what adds to it is, a veteran like Lule might be able to handle all the exotic stuff that's getting thrown at the Lion offense in terms of what Chris Jones brings in pressure, knocks the tackle, and the former Rider a little slow to get up, Anthony Allen.
Well, it's a good point, Chris, because when you face that kind of style of defense with all the players on the line of scrimmage, lots of pressure, you can have 3 or 4 series where you don't produce anything, and then all of a sudden you make the big play because you get the one-on-ones and you win a one-on-one.
2nd and 7. Here they come again. He gets it away, wide open. It is Moore down inside the 20, trying to cut back, and he gets caught at the 8-yard line. But a huge play and back-to-back receptions by Moore. This one goes for 53.
When you get that kind of pressure up at the line of scrimmage, you get one-on-one. So it'll look bad for 3 or 4 series, and then you get a big play. There was one player covering 2 over there on the outside, Tavon Campbell. Pressure up front, but this time Nick Moore gets him behind coverage, and Jennings finds him.
Third trip to the red zone, 1 for 2. A Jennings touchdown and a field goal. First and goal from the 8. Fake to Allen, backpedaling into the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Javon Olafioye. Suits, a couple of weeks ago, we were at their practice facility, and they ran that play, and you wondered when we might see it.
Well, he was wide open, and I'm not sure it's because he's got blazing speed and ran by everybody, or maybe they just didn't cover down on the tackle who became an eligible receiver. And Jennings just had to retreat long enough so that the big man could get in there. It took him a while, but you could see fooled the Rider defense.
No way he's dropping that. Top offensive lineman in 2012, 5-time All-CFL. And we believe the first reception and first touchdown for Javon Olafioye. And now they go back for 2. Load up that far side. A flag comes down. Pressure on. Jennings throwing that one up for grabs, and it's incomplete. But let's wait for the flag. 5-play, 75-yard touchdown drive engineered by Jennings and capped by Olafioye.
Big throw to Nick Moore.
Yeah, the key receiver on
Offside.
the drive for sure.
Saskatchewan, defensive line. Half the distance to goal. We'll retry the convert.
So they go half the distance to the, well, down between the 1 and 2, and that may change the play call. Missed earlier on a 2-point convert. That second attempt bailed out by the penalty. And now it looks like they might run it. Rainey in motion, takes the handoff, and Rainey, easy, 2 points. Arsenault with the block that springs Rainey. Man, it's a different game now as the Lions pick up 8. And it's now 23-19.
Lions have 2 receivers and just Tavon Campbell there by himself. Now, Chris Jones has occasionally done this when they try to catch an offense, not being able to see out there and see that they've got the guy double teamed. But look at that, 2 wide open receivers. Tavon Campbell was in a bad situation there. Likely a bust in the back end. The Riders have had a couple of these per game. That sets up the Javon Olafioye touchdown.
My daughter, Sarah, love you. Rest of heaven, Mama.
First time he's looked into the camera and got a chance to say hi after scoring a touchdown.
Big guys don't get to do that very often.
He'd like to make it a habit. Leone with the boot, and this one will skip into the arms of Kendall Lawrence. And the Lions waiting for him around the 25-yard line. We had a special halftime ceremony honoring the 1966 Grey Cup champions, who are here in 417 of the members of that team that won the first Rough Rider Grey Cup back 50 years ago. And there's Lana Mueller, daughter of the little general. George Reed got the loudest ovation, as you might expect, and they brought the cup back for this reunion.
With some all-star players in the group. There's Al Ford to the right, Tedder Ness in that group, Dale West, Wayne Shaw,
Hank Dorsch, Wally Dempsey, Bob Cossett. Did you say Wayne Shaw? There's
I did, yes.
a bunch, and Gardner Ekstrand.
And this week on CGME Radio, I heard a nice interview by Hugh Campbell, who couldn't make it to this, but another star that was on our show, The Green Zone, on the week. Great interview there.
When you talk about a Mount Rushmore for the CFL, you could put Lancaster, Reed, and Campbell.
Yes, absolutely.
And not even think twice about it. So the handoff to Curtis Steele, and he gets gang tackled, and we'll go back down to the sidelines for Lee Jones.
Yeah, watching one running back, and we now see another running back in George Reed. And George, you were part of that 66 team that won Saskatchewan's first Grey Cup. What was that experience like, bringing this franchise first Grey Cup here?
Well, I think it was something outstanding. You know, as players, we felt great about winning the Grey Cup, but we even felt better about bringing it back to Saskatchewan, giving the people something that they never had before. And it was a great feeling, and I can remember that the people kind of celebrated here for about a month after we brought it back, so it was great.
Of course, this is Mosaic Stadium's last year, so that's why they had this celebration, 50 years as well. What was it like seeing everybody once again?
I think it was outstanding seeing those guys that were able to get back. Of course, we've lost a few people, but you know, being able to see Taylor Ness, and who was the center, who did a lot of blocking for me, and other guys that came back and everything, it was outstanding, and had a great morning with them and everything.
Thanks for this, George, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
CFL royalty.
Indeed.
and George Reed, in typical fashion, talks about his O-line when he gets his chance.
Did you see that? 9-time All-CFL. Rainey across midfield. The Lions have a little momentum going here. Let's take a look back. First Grey Cup I remember watching, and as a fan of the other guys, I remember how heartbroken when the Roughriders put this away with a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter. There's George Reed and Hugh Campbell. Al Ford with a catch there in the end zone. Hugh Campbell had a touchdown catch in that game, and I can't believe the celebration was only a month long. Come on. It was longer than that.
I hear you. Great to see George in the community. And I tell you what, when he walks in a room, they go crazy.
Final
little kids want to get his autograph because they've heard of the legend.
Well, with the names I gave you, I think 66 was the best team. You guys performed probably the greatest game in Grey Cup history in '89. That 2007 team started that great trend of, well, the renewal of Rough Rider mania. And
Kent Austin second, because he was our quarterback along with Tom Burgess in '89, and then the 13 win at home.
Yeah, it doesn't get more special than winning at home.
Absolutely not.
Looking for a home win here, but suddenly on precarious turf. Lions start on the Rider side of half, and that ball up for grabs, and Geedy is able to knock it away. Jennings was throwing that while falling backwards under heat again. And this is a rough thing to see. Durant back on crutches on the sidelines.
Well, we're not doctors, and I don't want to speculate on what this could be. Lee talked about ankle. They iced the ankle, the top of the foot. Could be a lot of things. He's putting some weight on it. We'll see. But he's done for tonight.
Third straight year with an injury of significance. More pressure, and that is batted down. Sammy Guavin sent the last two plays to put heat to Corey Irvin.
Took a while here, but I've been, with the pressure, wondering about this screen draw type of play calling from the BC Lions, and they had it set up nicely with lots of blockers. Take a look again, lots of pressure on the D-line. Go ahead and run it, guys. Watch how this develops. And if Jennings doesn't get stopped there, they've got a convoy out in front, tons of room to run, and Jennings can't get the ball to Anthony Allen.
Defenses have taken over 8 possessions in the... Look at that backspin. There's Richie Leone making up for the last punt. And a 47-yard punt, almost perfect to pin the Saskatchewan Roughriders inside the 10 the second time he's done that this season.
Hey, every player makes mistakes, and Leone on the last punt made a mistake, but the good ones come back and make amends, and that's exactly what he did with that pinpoint kick that had a little backspin on it.
Going to say 8 possession suits, 7 2-and-outs in this quarter. 1 touchdown by the Lions. But right now, Mitch Gale and the Roughriders need a first down, and they need to get out of this hole.
That defense is going to start to fatigue, too.
From their own 8. There's a little center screen to Rob Bagg, and he gives them a little breathing room up around the 16-yard line. Bagg with his 4th catch of the game.
Bagg starts in the backfield, and then he is the screen man coming out. Again, a good play to start to get some confidence, get that first down success, second and a couple. A lot easier, a lot more plays in the playbook for 2nd and 2.
Steal the running back. And pressure, and Purifoy with the knockdown off the edge as he continues to impress in BC in his first year. Luches Purifoy, the former Florida Gator.
Yeah, he's making plays. He's coming off the edge here, and I didn't see a throwing lane for Mitchell Gale at all. That was the screen on the previous play. Don't get you that Purifoy knockdown.
Former Indianapolis Colt and teammate of Jonathan Newsom of the Roughriders. 5 consecutive 2-and-outs here in the 3rd quarter for Saskatchewan. A high kick that falls into the hands of Rainey. Flag comes down after the 45-yard punt and a short return, but should be decent, if not terrific, field position for BC, depending on the penalty. Looks like it is going against the Lions.
Holding on the return. BC, number 28, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rookie Anthony Thompson that causes the Lions to back up.
Let's go back to that Purifoy play because he's been making a bunch of them. There he is right there, coming off the edge. I thought he may have been out of the screen on that first play. That was the screen. There's the next one, but there was really no passing lane anywhere for Mitchell Gale there to the right side of the formation.
Trailed by 13 at the half, now down by 4. Ticking down to the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Jennings back to work and hands it off to Allen. Not much up the middle for the former Rider. McKinley there. There's Mabure, the former BC Lion, in on the tackle.
Little textbook scrape here from middle linebacker Greg Jones. Watch how he just finds the ball carrier here. He's going to allow his defensive front to get all and eat up all the blocks, and then he just scrapes his way to Anthony Allen. Tries to rip the ball out.
Busy night again for Jones, and it's 2nd and 8. And more pressure. Jennings gets away. Mabure had him wrapped up. A flag is down, and Jennings will run for what would be a first down, depending on this flag.
It's coming back, holding against the BC Lions.
And that's Mabure wondering how he didn't register the sack.
Holding. BC, number 50. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Yes, and Mabure was working on Kirby Fabian, who got the holding call. Fabian playing for the injured Charles Valancourt. He's right here. There's Mabure, and away they go. You're going to see Mabure get around him, and then he grabs the shoulder pads from behind, tries to tackle him, and that's why Mabure can't get Jonathan Jennings, but he does draw the penalty flag.
140 penalty yards in the game against BC. Final play, 3rd quarter, barring another penalty call. 2nd and a bunch, and Jennings downfield, and it's caught. Brian Burnham with the catch and a first down into Rough Rider territory. What a catch by Burnham, who had to be anticipating a big hit, and it goes for 35 and a first down. What a conversion this is to help stoke the comeback for BC. 3-quarter time at Mosaic.
150 yards and penalties for the BC Lions. I think Wally Buono in his 400th game probably be happy just down by 4 with that many penalty yards. I mean, they've got to clean that up in a big way.
Big defensive quarter for the BC Lions, who put pressure on Mitch Gale, but the biggest play, other than the Olafioye touchdown in a comeback, might be that one by Brian Burnham. What a second down conversion that was for 35 yards.
It was. Craig Newman stumbled trying to get to that, and Berman comes up with the big catch. But that drive by Jonathan Jennings when he hit Nick Moore, and then the touchdown to Javon Olafioye that fooled the Rider defense, that drive may have just kept Jonathan Jennings in the game.
Wally Buono just got flagged. He tried to challenge something there. And
BC is challenging the previous play for roughing the passer, a low hit. We also have ejectional conduct that will be applied against the BC bench.
Wow, that must have been one challenge.
It may have been how he presented that challenge to the official that drew the extra one.
Well, even when you've coached for 400 games, you can cross the line.
Well, let's take a look at the hit that Wally Buono was upset about first. That's Jonathan Newsom, the bottom of your screen. And Wally Buono was upset because he said he went down low, which he does. So that's a penalty for roughing the passer. That's what he wanted to challenge.
Similar hit to Brooks on Durant that sidelined Darian Durant from the game.
And it may have been Wally Buono talking about that first hit and saying, was that a deliberate payback attempt?
Is it possible they throw the flag because he challenged it right at midfield? I mean, well, there has been talk about where coaches stand on the field, and I mean, he was almost in the mosaic paint.
Now you're referring to the Duron Carter bump on Rick Campbell, and it's pretty commonplace for coaches to be sort of a yard and a half when they're trying to challenge, maybe get an angle on the replay screens in the stadiums. It's commonplace for them to come out a little bit, and they're warned to stay back off the field. But you're right, Wally Buono was way out on the field to try and get the attention of the officials to challenge that unnecessary roughness on Jonathan Jennings.
So he's preached discipline throughout the day. We're sure that was probably a theme at halftime, and hard to imagine this would take long in a challenge review, but it is, and we're wondering why not.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, he's clearly low and below the knees, and it doesn't matter, again, if you're tripped or pushed or stumble on your own. Any low hit will be called. Here we go.
After review, it's been determined by the command center that we have roughing the passer. On Saskatchewan, 0. We have objectional conduct on BC head coach. We're going to go up 5 yards. It's first down, BC.
The veteran head coach had been 0 for 4 in challenges until this game. He wins one, but it's
does he
mixed
win
results.
I was going to say, do you win it when you get the offsetting? They have the ball in the first down.
Got the fans here at Mosaic in an uproar. Fake to Lumbala, more heat. Jennings scrambling with Capicati in pursuit and throws it away.
I haven't seen Kevin Francis at the safety spot for a few series now in the defense for Saskatchewan. It's been Craig Newman.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Saskatchewan, number 1, 10-yard penalty, first down, BC.
That's Buddy Jackson, who they've gone after a bit in this game.
He went down in the press position at that corner spot. Now he only has to right about here to jam the receiver, and after that he's got to let him go. And he's running there with Brian Burnham.
So it's a first down at the Rough Rider 31. Here comes the safety blitz. Jennings gets it away. Nick Moore in the end zone. Touchdown. Jennings beats the blitz, and the Lions have the lead.
Blitz coming from the safety. So Jonathan Jennings knew he was going to get one-on-one. There's Greg Newman. Jennings knew that was picked up, let it go on the corner route, and Nick Moore in behind Brandon McDonald for a 31-yarder.
Fifth lead change of the game, and he didn't get hurt on the celebration, did he?
Wow.
You are kidding me.
It looked like he may have.
What a second half it's been. All 3 catches for Moore on the day, and now 89 yards and a touchdown, but that might be the worst play of the day. Leone, the extra point as BC claims the lead. 5 plays, 73 yards. The touchdown drive for BC.
Brandon McDonald giving Nick Moore all kinds of room here. He's way off, and he's got to be in zero coverage, basically man-to-man with no help in the middle from the safety. Greg Newman had gone on the blitz. Pretty easy route running there for Nick Moore to turn around McDonald. And then it looked like when celebrating afterwards, Nick Moore may have hurt his knee, but John Jennings loves the throw and the catch and the fact that the Lions now have the lead. And then what happened to Nick Moore? He goes, oh, he looked fine. He jumps up
and landed on the left leg a little bit awkwardly and immediately shook his head. 16 consecutive points for the Lions to take the lead. Jonathan Jennings now over 300, first time this year with 329, and the Roughriders with Kendall Lawrence. Big return, and they needed it. Up around midfield, he'll step out at the Saskatchewan 53-yard line. That's a 48-yard return for Lawrence. That's the first big return of the season for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, and first big play by Kendall Lawrence as a rider. And you know, he's not been used a lot offensively this year. And you kind of wonder why, because he is that utility guy. He's like the Swiss Army knife of your offense, can do a lot of things, but he makes a big play, and the Riders, you're right, they needed it badly. Momentum has shifted.
Here's Gale with the connection, and the first down of the second half. Ricky Collins has the catch down around the BC 35.
Well, it's amazing what one big play on the teams can do to the confidence of your offense coming on first down. I mean, Ricky Collins Jr. runs a nice hard dig right over the middle, just that seam that bends back into the middle of the field. And Mitchell Gale puts it right on him.
Just the second catch of the game for Collins. 23-yard pickup. 5 receivers set. Gale short drop, has a connection. John Childs to catch a first down, and he'll step out at the line 21.
I'm a little surprised here. The Lions going with 4-man pressure now on Mitchell Gale, all of a sudden dropping everybody off and giving him the time to settle in. He throws a nice ball to Ricky Collins Jr. Mark Washington now, well, maybe he's dialing it up. A little more pressure with that signal. I'm not sure if you could decipher that, but I certainly couldn't.
Certainly can guess after the last 2 plays we might see something different. Here comes Heat. Wide side, it reaches Dipsky, and he gets cut down on the play by Brandon Stewart.
3 or 4 consecutive 2-and-outs by Mitchell Gale. The Lions were sending both Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill. In the last 3 plays, they've dropped those linebackers out of there, giving Gale more time to throw from that pocket.
Childs in motion, 2nd and 3. Flipping to the wider side, and missing bag, incomplete. 3rd down, and Krapina and the field goal unit comes on.
Yeah, Mitchell Gale pointed himself there. He thought he saw the blitz, and he saw that Adam Bighill was up in the line and Purifoy, so he's going, okay, I just got to get it out of here. He's settled in now. Now, Solomon Elimimian drops, but he had an open bag. An open raw bag on that out route. and he points right to himself.
So it'll be a 22-yard attempt to tie the game as the Roughriders look for their first points of this second half. Rapinoe's good. 26-26. But Jonathan Jennings has stoked this comeback in the second half. Over 300 yards, just connected with Nick Moore. Scored one on the ground himself. Our professional grade. And we got a game tied at 26. Just under 12 minutes to go. Road team gonna win again? Or does Mosaic celebrate Saskatchewan's first victory of 2016? Lions with the football, Anthony Allen, and they're gonna stop play here. And some early movement on the left side, it would appear.
Procedure. BC number 57. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yep. Left guard Hunter Stewart. Or is it 57? Excuse me, the right tackle Antonio Johnson. And that's the 16th penalty. And it was 67, so it is Hunter Stewart. The left guard who got called, 16th penalty. Here's Jennings throwing, and that closest man to it was Brandon McDonald. Manny Arsenault, the intended target, who was not apparently on the same page as Jennings based on that reaction.
Well, yeah, and it was actually Brandon McDonald who, because of his position and coverage on Manny Arsenault, he actually forced Arsenault to break off his route a little bit and bubble it, and he didn't get to that corner where Jennings thought he would be. Sometimes if you're in the right position as a defensive back, you can force a receiver to get out of his route. That's what happened there.
Gore 5 catches, Arsenault 5 catches, and good to see Nick Moore back in the offense. Second and 15, excuse me. Underneath, and there's Aguavin making another play, and Anthony Allen stopped in his tracks. Samuel Aguavin, the rookie linebacker, has made some noise in his first few games in the CFL.
Well, Jeff Knox Jr. was nominated in multiple awards for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year, and not many talking about Jeff Knox Jr., who came off injury late to the party because of Aguavin.
Leone, not a deep kick with the wind at his back. Just a 38-yarder fielded by Kendall Lawrence, and now the Rough Rider offense goes back to work. Rob Baggs got a touchdown in this game. Trying to break this 26-all tie with just over 10 minutes to go in Saskatchewan. Championship concludes tomorrow. Final round action. Henrik Stenson with a one-shot lead over Phil Mickelson. Coverage begins 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific in the morning on TSN 4 and 5. Been an interesting evening. We conclude week 4 here in the Canadian Football League. Number 4 was sidelined in the first half. Darian Durant, Mitchell Gale trying to post the first win of the year for Saskatchewan. Gale's got some time, wants Childs, and overthrows John Childs by a stride or two. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, there's times when, especially at the quarterback position, that just a drive can change the direction of your career in a positive way or a negative way. Mitchell Gale has that opportunity right now to put together a drive to break this tie, put the Riders in the lead, and get the fans back into this game when Jonathan Jennings gets the football back. I remember the conversation I had with Mike Riley years ago when he had one drive in the preseason to prove that he was worth keeping. And look what he's done.
That drive against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and down goes Gale. You better call Saul. Solomon Elamimian with another sack and a big defensive play by the Lions.
Yeah, this is the way you play against a young quarterback. And again, Gale still got time. Maybe this wasn't the drive for his defining moment. Maybe it's not tonight. We'll see. But send the pressure. And Solomon Elamimian just finds Main Street and goes right down it.
Forces the punt team back on. Bartell line drive, not deep, but he gets a roll. And Rainey letting it bounce down inside the 20. And look at Rainey find a little crease. And gets the bounce yardage back anyway, up over the 30-yard line.
Jonathan Jennings in the third quarter, you have to believe that Wally Buono was considering, should we shake it up? Look at Travis Lule. He had his helmet on, as a matter of fact, at one point, and then Jennings went to work. He had maybe one more chance in this game. He hit Nick Moore down the middle, and then the touchdown to his tackle, Javon Olafioye, and Jennings is staying and going to finish this game. Maybe that was his drive.
Olafioye in the third quarter. Nick Moore a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Riders answer with 3, tied at 26, and here's Jennings with a pass inside, and there's Brian Burnham, that's a guy who's had some clutch catches in this game, and with a big one here to get them near midfield.
Yeah, just 9 catches coming in after 3 games to start the season, and I think this is a breakout game for Brian Burnham, because I don't think any of these catches have been easy ones. That one a little bit behind him in traffic. He's made some tough ones taking hits. He's over 100 yards tonight.
First down up at the 51. Lumbala into block. He gets a block. Jennings wide open. Sean Gore busted coverage and a Lion touchdown. 59 yards. Jennings to Gore.
Well, Sean Gore may not have seen it, but he's got to take that football for the touchdown and walk back to the huddle and hand it to Rolly Lumbala. Because if Lumbala doesn't get the block, Jennings doesn't make this throw. Right here, that's blitz from the secondary, right in the face of Jennings, and Rolly Lumbala picks him up. Sean Gore is at the other end in behind coverage.
And the young guy on the corner, Tavon Campbell, gets scorched. We also had Anthony Allen stay in the block there. But I can hear our colleague Dwayne Ford. That's one for the fullback.
There you go. Monster block.
And the extra point is good. It's a 7-point lead for the Lions once again. Sean Gore with his first touchdown of the year. And he goes long distance, 59 for the go-ahead major.
Play here, it's kind of like a loose man, 4-deep zone coverage, and I think Tavon Campbell thought Gore was sitting here. He had actually turned it up. This is the 4-deep blanket, but Tavon Campbell has got to get back deep with Gore. If he's got a threat out there, he's got to run with him. He loses him, Gore is wide open, but without that block from Lumbala, that ball is not out of there from the pocket.
Naeem and Sanaya, I love y'all. Hey, Mama, I love you too.
2 plays, 78 yards, and that touchdown by Gore. The 3 Lion touchdown receivers all scoring their first of the season. Onko, the tackle on the Lawrence kickoff return.
Sometimes that blitz is a little bit delayed, and Lumbala, look at him. He's just basically spying it over there. He knows it's coming. Now he's just got to see that the first one was picked up, and then he comes out on Brandon McDonald and collapses him. Jonathan Jennings able to throw it. He's got a wide open receiver.
Jonathan Jennings had just 1 touchdown pass coming into this game. 3 here on the evening. Wide side throw to Collins, who could get loose down the sidelines for Ricky Collins. Up close to midfield. That's a big play to help kickstart the Roughriders trying to answer.
Yeah, pretty simple route here. It's just Collins Jr. on that quick out. And closing quickly is Brandon Stewart, but he basically dove and didn't maintain good technique in his tackle. 18-yard gain for Ricky Collins Jr.
Balamimian all the way down the field to make the tackle. Just the 3rd first down of this second half for the Roughriders. Gale putting it up for Roosevelt. He got it, but the flag down, and did he push off? Or is this going against Ronnie Yell in that battle between Roosevelt and Yell?
Yeah, there was pushing and shoving going on, and Ronnie Yell thinks it was against Naaman Roosevelt.
Now they're going against BC, so this
Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look.
Pass interference. BC, number 25. Penalty is declined. The gain is greater. First down, Saskatchewan.
You know, I take a look back at this play, and
here comes the challenge.
Wally Buono wants to take another look at it.
I think Wally Buono wants to know if they brought it down in bounds. Roosevelt with the catch, but did the shoulder touchdown first out of bounds? That might be what he's challenging. If not, a push-off by Roosevelt.
I thought he was in bounds. But you can challenge both offensive and defensive. And
clearly in bounds, so it's a perceived push-off. But Buono, there's not much doubt he's in bounds. So
clearly he's in bounds on that look. And now it's a matter of how you interpret it.
BC is challenging that there was offensive pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
You know, and I'm going to say this on this play. And we've seen a few of these this year where receiver DB are running down. There's some hand fighting, a little push, a little tug here, a little pull there. I'm almost inclined to say, let him play on that particular one. I mean, right in here in the corner.
See if a different angle gives a different story.
Well, Yell is leaning in with his left arm, trying to force Naaman Roosevelt out of bounds, basically. So there's a little bit of contact there. And Roosevelt, at the same time, is trying to hold him off from doing that. Again, you know, there's been some pretty soft calls when it comes to defensive pass interference or offensive. And these guys are fighting for the football. I say you call it a catch and you move on. I mean, if we're going to keep calling this incidental contact, we're going to see a lot of penalty flags in the passing game. But we'll see. I mean, I know here in Mosaic Stadium, there's a lot of green-colored goggles that think that was Ronnie Yell.
After review, it's been determined by the command center that there is no offensive pass interference. BC is charged a timeout. They have one team timeout remaining.
Yeah, but I don't think there was defensive either. It was just a great catch.
Right, and on a 50-50 play, they're not going to change their mind.
No, and let them play.
So the 41-yard gain stands, and the Roughriders in business. Just outside the 25-yard line, Gale has time, throws to the sideline, and Roosevelt can't hold it. Just made a tough catch, and that one's on him, and it's 2nd and 10.
Ronnie Yell jarred that ball loose.
Boundary corner for the Lions, 25, and TJ Lee. Guys now in their 3rd year and coming into their own in the BC secondary.
Big play here.
2nd and 10. Bag got a good jump. Gale over the middle. Childs got the catch, and the ball comes loose. And they're going to rule incomplete as Giles couldn't squeeze it.
Mitchell Gale knifed that ball in there. I mean, he put that on a rope to get it in a small spot, and Childs had it and just can't hang on.
Bo Lacombo helped break up the play as Childs had it momentarily. TJ Lee there as well, but you're right. That ball couldn't have been thrown any better. So the field goal unit comes on. And it's Carpina from 34 yards out, and he's missed.
Oh, boy.
And that will go through for a single, and it's a 6-point lead. Just the 2nd miss of the year for Tyler Carpina.
Well, let's see if it's laces out or not from Rob Bagg, who is an outstanding holder and has been for some time, and you can't put it on the tee any better than Rob Bagg did there. So that one's on Cravinha.
Lions will take it at the 35.
First 2 wins for the Lions this season in this situation. They ran the ball to eat the clock in the 4th quarter. See if they can do it against this Rider defense.
Jennings at 411. We saw Mike Riley over 400, the former Lion. And a handoff inside, and the fullback gets rewarded for the big block in the last play, and he gets a carry, his first of the season. Reminder, the 81st Prince of Wales Stakes gets underway Tuesday, July 26. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Across the TSN network, Canadian Triple Crown broadcast brought to you by OLG and Ontario Racing.
That's great. A little selfie at the park there.
And on second and short, first down carry there by Anthony Allen up across the 45. A reminder to Whitecap fans tuning in, Whitecaps Orlando City coming up in the next minute on TSN2. But you can hang around for the finish and we go to MLS action later.
We got some football to be played here.
BC with a 6-point lead. And the first down just over their own 45. Double tight ends, and they're going to run straight ahead. And the former Rider crashes down into Rough Rider territory at the Saskatchewan 51.
Hunter Stewart, Javon Olafiore are going to lead the way over here. They go tight end with Lumbala, and then you got to believe that Anthony Allen is going to love to do this. If he can chew up the rest of this clock, move the football all the way down in the score zone against his old team, that's a 13-yarder.
Now longest run of the day, 6 carries, 41, so they haven't used him a whole lot, but it might be Anthony Allen time. Using the clock and faking to Allen, and Jennings just gets back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe a few more as he scrambles forward. Boy, it looked like Allen had some room to run, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Jonathan Jennings has to make a split-second decision here on the zone read play. And watch if he did give it to Allen.
Yikes.
There is like nothing but running room through a big hole on that right side. And that's one he'd like back, but that's, like I said, a split-second decision.
And that's, well, it's Essa Mabure, the former BC Lion, who was shaken up on the last play. And the injuries continue for the Roughriders. And again, there's been some key Canadian injuries today with Brendan Labatt, Shamon Chambers, now Mabure,
and I just watched,
and of course, Darian Durant.
And I just watched AC Leonard limp off the field as well. He was out there in the rotation, and he limped off, was looking at his knee. But yeah, the big story, of course, Darian Durant.
Lions get a bye next week, and then they'll be in Calgary, next game for Saskatchewan, against the Ottawa Red Blacks on the 22nd. Will Darian Durant be back for that? Need all hands on deck against the Red Blacks. We know that. Wow.
Mitchell Gale has shown some things now tonight.
Yes, he has. Second and 7. 4 receivers near side. Jennings looks that way. Threads the needle to Arsenault, who gets away, and that is a clutch first down and extra yards to the 30.
Well, that's like the Mitchell Gale throw to John Childs. He just throws it between 2 defenders, and if you don't put enough heat on this fastball, you're Jonathan Jennings. That's picked off.
6 for 83 for Manny Arsenault. 4 different receivers with at least 80 yards for Jonathan Jennings, who's piling up the stats. And trying to put this one away. That's a clutch first down at the 3-minute warning here at Mosaic. Lions lead by 6.
Base that he had to, Jonathan Jennings had to thread the needle in here. Newman's dropping underneath. He's free. Got another defender coming downhill. And if it's not a perfect throw and on the money, that one's going the other way. Arsenal comes up with it.
First down at the 30, and it's Allen crashing ahead for about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. And unless the Lions make a mistake here in the late stages, there won't be any Travis Lulay discussion about playing next week or next game.
I see where you're going, yeah. No, I think it was that one drive, but right now the Lions got to be thinking not overly conservative, but run the ball again, kick the field goal, you make it a 9-point game.
Take time off the clock, make it a 2-score lead. One more first down would be lethal here. Pressure, Jennings got away, and there's the first down and more. He'll try and stay in bounds, but he'll take that romp down to the 8-yard line and set up 1st and goal.
Well, this is a young quarterback in his 10th start, the pro level. It's a fake to Lumbala. Guavin's coming off the edge, and Guavin does what you cannot do when you're free blitzing off the edge, and that's jump. If you jump, you can't redirect. Jennings makes him pay for the mistake. Smart play not to throw the football there, but to take it and run for the first down. Get a new set, grind it down a little bit more.
4th trip to the red zone. Couple of touchdowns, one on the run and one to Olafioye. Now it's Anthony Allen of the former Rough Rider with the dagger. 7-yard touchdown on his return to Mosaic.
Again, didn't look like he got touched, let alone tackled. Zone read. Big block by Cody Husband, the center.
Huge second half for the BC Lions. Down 23-10 at halftime. And they're going to go for 2 again. Try to make it a 14-point lead. Four receivers near side. Jennings has that one knocked down. So they lead by 12 with just over 2 minutes left.
Take a look at the end of this drive, and Anthony Allen untouched. A couple of key runs there to put Jennings in second and real short on that final drive. Chewed up some time on the clock. Watch the center here just in front of Jonathan Jennings. See Cody Husband make a nice block right there. There's a nice kick out.
Let's go. All right.
8 carries, 52 yards. And a touchdown now for Allen, his first rushing TD of the year. And the Lions have outscored the Rough Riders 29-4 here in the second half.
What's up, babe? What's up, kids? Love y'all.
2 good pros
Let's go,
at running back for the BC Lions. 2 great
2016.
options in Jeremiah Johnson, who should be healthy and available for next week or for when the Lions play again, and Anthony Allen.
Kendall Lawrence, the return, contained before he reaches the 30.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.